In today's Umamusume video, I want to talk about a very interesting topic, and it's going to be wit versus power. It is something that I have been trying to read in the race mechanics doc that will be linked in the description down below. I've been spending quite a lot of time in here today just trying to gather my thoughts, read through this, and just kind of talk it out with people in my Discord. And I was talking for a long time about it, TLDR. So I kind of want to give my perspective, my thoughts on which stat is more important. There are two things, or two statements, I guess, that I feel like we've kind of heard a lot, especially since the beginning of the game in global, and that is, when you're blocked, you're blocked. I feel like that's one of the most famous statements or famous quotes. The other one is, Umamusume is a wit game. And so I kind of want to go through each side, go through each stat, and kind of give you some analogies that kind of help me understand which one is going to be more appealing to me, and I hope that it can do the same for you. Now, if you feel like I am doing a potential disservice to you by not giving you the actual numbers and just kind of using numbers that help me understand it from a conceptual point of view, then my apologies ahead of time. However, for me, seeing it conceptually and just kind of ideally, and then saying, okay, that makes sense in my head, and while I may not have the correct numbers, I at least understand how it works. That's what I'll be doing here today. If you don't really like that and you want those solid concrete numbers, they are all in this race doc, and you can plug in numbers and formulas all day that you want to kind of see exactly what it is that you may want. So before we get started, if you enjoy the Umamusume content, please like and subscribe to the channel. And as I always say, please join my Discord, description in the link below. Got a lot of great people in there, smart people, kind people, and overall a great community. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that I kind of want to preface everything with and make sure we're all on the same page is going to be position keep. So under this section in the race doc, it says position keeping affects target speed between sections 1 to 10. So what is a section? If we go up here in the race doc, it says a section is a race course is divided into 24 sections of equal distance. Sections are numbered 1 to 24. So what you could do is you could take the course distance, divide that by 24, and that's how long each section is for that race. So if we wanted to use the Kyoto, we would say 3,000 divided by 24. Each section is 125, I guess it would be meters, since we're doing a 3,000 meter course. So now that we know what the sections are, let's go ahead and go back to this part. There are 5 modes besides the normal mode. For front runners, there are 2 modes, speed up and overtake, and for non-front runners, there's 2 modes, pace up and pace down. Everybody shares the pace up EX mode. Now, this is where the wit portion of this comes into play. When in normal mode, a check to enter non-normal modes is performed every 2 seconds. Non-normal modes being speed up, overtake, or pace up, pace down, or the EX pace up. The check consists of an entry condition and sometimes a wisdom check or a wit check. With that being said, an Uma returns to normal mode once exit conditions are fulfilled or after she has run in this mode for the length of 1 section. And of course, that section depends on how long the track is, and then we divide that by 24. So what this is saying here is when we are in a normal mode, our Uma every 2 seconds will see if they have the entry condition and then use a wit check to turn around and see, can they do that thing? That thing being for front runners and for runaways, or I may say unige, is going to be speed up. The speed up says we get a target speed modifier of 1.04 times. Now, you can check it through here, what it does, but I do want to say that I had someone in my Discord do the math on this. They plugged in the numbers here, and at 1200 wit, it was a 41.58% chance. I'm going to round down, and I'm just going to say 41% chance, okay? To go into speed up mode if you meet these conditions. All right, cool. Now, on the low side, I had somebody do that math, but with 400 wit, and the difference was 400 wit was 32%. Now, 32% to 41%, 9% difference. However, that 9% difference is being clocked potentially every 2 seconds because, like we said up here, a check to enter non-normal modes is performed every 2 seconds. So with that being said, we are getting wit checked every potentially 2 seconds. Now, if you enter into that mode and then you come out of that mode, there will be a little bit more. So now we say once exited, there's a 1 second cooldown, followed by the aforementioned 2 second interval for a total of 3 seconds before the checks are run again. So 2 to 3 seconds, we're getting hit with either a 32 or a 41% chance. That doesn't sound like much, but to me, every percent matters. Now, the other one that I do want to bring up is going to be for the non-front runners because, of course, wit does matter. Here, once again, for the non-front runners, we have entry condition. Uma's distance from the first place is above the maximum distance past the wisdom check. And then you can do this formula right here. So we can already see that wit is an important stat for us to either pace up or speed up. This will give us a target speed modifier, both being 1.04 here and 1.04 here. Now the overtake mode, this is going to be for front runners. They will get that 1.05 times, but relatively the same. So now that we see where wit is kind of prevalent at, and where we can kind of see, hey, if I hit these potential wit checks, I'm going to continually get lengths for free. I will get distance for free if I hit these wit checks. Now, the next thing that I do want to talk about is going to be in this section right here, kind of towards the bottom, on the randomness per section. This says at each section, race base speed multiplied by a random number is added to target speed. The random number is affected by the wisdom stat or wit stat. This randomness does not affect the last spurt calculation. And so now they give us this formula here. And then they say if you have 400 wit, you can get a max of plus 0.117%, or at the minimum, minus 0.533%. And then at 800 wit, it goes up, and then you can do the math for more there. Now, one thing that is very interesting to me is that wit also deals with our final leg's final spurt condition. So we can read right here, if HP is insufficient, a list of last spurt speed and distance candidates are calculated by lowering the target speed by 0.1 meters per second each step till the last spurt speed reaches base target speed of the late race. Then candidates are sorted by the time it would take to finish the race, sum of respective distance divided by speed, ignoring acceleration. Going from best to worst time, each candidate has a chance of, and then they have this, 15 plus 0.05 times wit stat, wisdom stat. %. So we can see here, so many things are affected by wit. The next things that I want to talk about is going to be for power points. So for power, it is a very interesting one because we all know that power directly correlates to our excel. When we get into that final leg, we are either going to go vroom really quickly to our top speed, or we're just going to kind of, we're going to get there eventually. One of the two, right? Obviously, the quicker we get there, the better. We can see that in this formula. Excel equals base excel times the square root divided by 500 times power stat. Da-da-dee-da-da-da. All of this. All right, so we can see that here, that power is used in Excel. Power is also used in lane change speed. So you can see here, lane movement speed has 3 components: actual speed, current speed, and target speed. Target speed equals 0.02 times 0.3 plus 0.001 times power stat. So to me, power is saying we're either going to go vroom really quickly to our target speed once we enter that final spurt condition, or we're going to go like this. And then it also says in my lane change speed, when I go, I can either go like this very quickly. When I'm going left right, it doesn't do anything with forwards, but it's left right, or I can just kind of go left and then right. So how does all of this tie in? One of the big key points that I do want to take note of is target speed. Now, beeline burst helped me kind of conceptualize the way that this looks. With beeline burst before the 1111 changes, it used to be 0.9 seconds. Unless you had an ungodly amount of power, you would have your speed here, and then you would get target speed from Beeline Burst. Because it was a 0.9 seconds, you are not going to go doop, and then immediately use that target speed and then go doop, like this. Because you're going to have to ramp up, and then you're going to have to ramp back down. But with 0.9 seconds, you're going to ramp up and then immediately need to start going back down. And so because they increased the duration of it, now you can go up to it, you can kind of coast at it for a little bit, and then you can go back down. So that helps Beeline Burst because they extended their duration. So I say that it helped me because when we take a look at these target, whether it be speed up mode or pace up mode, when we get the extra target speed modifier, our power will help us excel to our new target speed. Again, we are right here. We either pace up or we speed up. And now let's just say we go up to here. And that power will either let us go like this very slowly, and then we go back down, or the power will help us get here and then go down. So now that you kind of see what it looks like, I want to kind of paint a video game weapon-esque type picture using power and using wit. If you have high power and you have low wit, that means you potentially may not be passing those wit checks every 2 seconds. But when you pass them, when you get this 1.04 target speed, what's going to happen is, I see it like a big two-handed battle axe. I'm waiting. I pass the wit check, bang! Now I can go, oh hey, I'm going here, I got this target speed, and I'm going to get up to that target speed. And then I'm going to coast at that target speed, and then I'm going to go back down. Alright? Versus the higher wit and lower power, which I look at it like maybe you're like dual wielding, and it's like maybe I'm getting a lot of rapid slashes out, but I'm not doing a lot of damage to you, but I'm consistently getting a lot of rapid slashes out on you, right? And so the way that I would see that is, I may not coast the entire time and get the maximum coast efficiency, but I'll get up there and then I'll go back down. I'll get back up there because I hit the wit check again, and then I'll go back down. And then I'll get back up there, and then I'll go back down. And so those two weapons kind of help me look at it if I want to go high power, or if I want to go decent power with higher wit. And then the other last kind of example that I want to give to you is going to be like random numbers. So let's say, for instance, with the 1.04 target speed, let's say your possible maximum efficiency that you can get out of 1.04 target speed is 100 points. Random number, 100 points. And let's just say with 1,000 power, whenever you hit that wit check, you could get maybe 80 points. Well, now, maybe throughout a race, you get that 5 times. So you've accumulated 400 points. Well, now let's say, for instance, your power is lower, random number of, I don't know, 700. And let's say you get 67 points. We'll just say 60 points. And then you turn around and say, hey, I have this higher wit, so in theory, I'm going to be hitting my wit much more. And let's just say you hit it 10 times. So 10 times the 60 is 600 points. So while yes, I do have to bank on hitting that more often, in the long run, I'll accumulate more points. You lose out on that if you have such low power that you then turn around and say, oh, I may only be getting like 30 points out of it, you know, because my power's so low and it takes me so long to excel to that target speed, I can't even reach the peak, and then I'm already decelerating back down. And so now you turn around and say, okay, from there, because of that lower power, I'm getting like 30 points. I might hit it 10 times, but I'm only getting 300 points, rather than if I had a lot of power, I may be getting 400 points. So I give all these examples to hopefully kind of make something hit, maybe it clicks with you, because now this is where I give you my opinion. And this is going to be so funny, because I don't believe that there is one right way. And the reason why I say that is because it depends on your deck. I cannot turn around and tell you, I believe you should run a wit-heavy deck, or a wit-heavy character, or a wit-heavy build, but then you don't have an MLB Fine Motion, your borrow slot is locked, and then you don't even have MLB SR wit cards because, you know, maybe you're still saving for the Kita rerun. That's so impossible for me to ask that of you. Whereas on the flip side, if you do have, let's just say, a lot of power cards, maybe you got stamina sparks, and guess what? You got some decent speed cards, guess what? It would be so much easier for me to ask of you to say, hey man, let's just go after the 400 wit, and then with your deck, with your sparks, you can actually attain a 1200 speed, maybe 1000 power, maybe 1000 stam, whatever the case may be, whatever the numbers may be. But then I'm gonna tell you, wit ain't important for you, and you're gonna have to be that battle axe. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to be that battle axe. Whereas if you do have more leeway, if you do have more freedom on your deck choices, and your borrow slot isn't locked, then I may tell you, hey, you may want to be that dual wielding where you're turning around and hacking and slashing a lot, right? And we haven't even talked about where does wit come in when we need to activate skills. That's a whole nother point, but at the very least, to me, and for my cards and for my deck, I do believe that overall, for me, wit is going to be what I'm chasing after. It is also something I have to high roll more towards, because now instead of 3 stats, going after 4. And so at the end of the day, I do think in a perfect world where everybody has access to all of these wit cards, and where everybody has access to really good sparks, that we should just roll wit. Because if we have lower power, but then we have higher wit and we're hitting way more wit checks, then we're going to get more lengths and distance for free based off of this ref dot or race mechanic dot. And then we'll still be able to accelerate to that number. Now, I am not saying to go wit first and then fill in everything else. Obviously, you need your stamina. Obviously, in an ideal world, you hit 1200 speed. Get to the minimum power requirements of whatever that track is, whatever that CM is, whatever that is, right? Get to that power and then invest it into wit. If you're able, you know, like I said, if you're able to do so. But if you can't go into this wit area, power, speed, stamina, get them 3, call it a day. And then just pray for good high rolls on those wit hits, and then turn around and pray RNG. And it's even funny, one of these was called randomness. Literally randomness. Now, I know this was a very heavy info video. I know that this was a very long, lengthy video as far as so many mechanics and so many things to kind of comprehend. It took me a long time. I mean, I was reading this for like 4 hours. I was trying to digest it for like 5 hours. It is not an easy thing, by no means. But I do think it is from a person-to-person, case-to-case thing, and that truly, in my opinion, there is no one-size-fits-all for every single person. You don't got Fine Motion, MLB. You don't got Biko, MLB. You don't got Kita-san Black, KSB, MLB. How can I tell you to run a whip build? I don't know. But what I do hope is that this video potentially helps you, so that when you say, oh, people are saying I should go only power, people are saying I should go wit, I hope that this video will help you kind of see, oh hey, I actually have a choice based off of my stuff, and now I can build accordingly. Do I want to take more time to go and try for that wit build? Or do I just want to say, I don't have that much time, let me grab the power, I'll take the RNG as I can, and I'm going to call it a day with the best that I got. I hope this video helps. If you got any questions, let me know. In the comment sections below, you can always join the Discord. You can ask questions there. The Discord is in the description. If you enjoy the Umamusume content, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. If you have any questions or you want to talk about this in a civilized manner, we can do so in the comment sections below. I'd appreciate that. Or we can talk in Discord, whatever's easiest for you. I do want to give a massive shout out to my current channel members. Thank y'all so much for the continued support. It does mean the world to me. And if you'd like to become a channel member, you can do so by clicking the join button down below. And last but not least, please be sure to share this video with your friends, with your family, and with your friends' family, so that way we can figure out what is going to be better for me, or for you specifically, between power and wit. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace!